Hey YouTube, this is Megadweasel coming at you from the great Indiana wilderness, and perusing the internet today I came across a great story, which is my friends at the Mythbusters, who are, it's like my favorite show ever, debunked the idea that on a TV show about dissolving a body in acid and having it dissolve the tub and dissolve the floor and fall on the... And cool, of course we found out that doesn't happen. Also, the destruction of an entire building with a handheld thing of mercury fulminate, yeah, that doesn't happen either. The amazing thing about a lot of information these days, and I don't really care where we get it. Okay, it's very, very important to do some reality testing because, like I always say, reality catches up. You can have a lot of fun with fantasy, you can have a lot of fun with speculation, but what's going to kill you is reality. And because of that, you have to be very, very careful with information, particularly that you get off TV. And if you go into a courtroom, I don't care if you've watched every season of Law and Order, all right? That's not the way shit works. If you actually think, that there are like forensic people that can stick a sample in one end of a machine and get a while you wait result out of another, that's in some places a $50,000 test and takes 2 weeks, even on speed dial. So yeah, a lot of that stuff just doesn't work, and I bring this up because it doesn't make any difference if it's gardening, it doesn't make any difference if it's close combat, it doesn't make any difference if it's the way the world ends. You've got to do some reality testing because there's just so much bullshit out there. And I personally work in the ICU of a modern hospital, and you would be amazed what patients and patients' families ask me in terms of, stuff that they have seen on a house is my worst enemy. Okay? Anybody that thinks that there's 5 specialists that are sitting around a table someplace worrying about, the case of a wino, all right, and not just that, but they're going to go to the alley where he lives and search stuff, okay, to find out why his ass is falling off. No, that doesn't happen. Anybody thinks that there's a public defender, okay, that is going to stand up, in front of a major league law firm and say, you guys are screwed, we're going to trial. No, these things simply don't happen. And the problem is if we walk around with these illusions behind something that we saw on the internet or something that we saw on TV, humans have no bullshit filter, okay? It all just goes in our head as information. And to use the analogy of a computer, we reach into our head and come out with a file that says American legal system, or come out with a file that says, American medical system. We think we know, damn, I must know something, I've got all this information. Well, yeah, but it's all wrong, it's all stuff that went in there, behind primetime television. And no, it doesn't really work like that. And the wrong time to find out, is when you actually need it. With our gardening adventure here, and with our chickens and with our worms and everything else, we've gotten great information off the internet, but the fact is there was stuff that just didn't work. Now, whether that was because it was in our area, whether that was because we didn't have the same bugs, whether that was because, we have a different climate, there's all kinds of different factors, and you don't know until you actually try. And it's a damn shame to be sitting around with a bucket full of seeds, okay, that will not actually grow in your area, and be dependent on planting a garden, of various things that you have no idea if they will actually sprout, if they will actually grow. Will they grow in your climate? Will they grow in your climate this year? You know, how are your bugs? Was there a bumper crop? Did you have a hard freeze last winter that killed all the ladybugs? I mean, there's a million different factors here. And the only way to know for sure about anything really in our lives, we can collect all the information that we want, you know. People love to collect information. People love to tell horror stories. The only way to really tell any of this stuff is to try it out, you know. I love the show, okay, Doomsday Preppers, you know, because there is such a fog of unreality that swirls around the whole thing. And then all of a sudden, I love the thing about the girl who was essentially a stripper, who her bug out plan was to walk 12 miles through, you know, a downtown area to a place where, you know, she had a vehicle secreted. No, without the camera crew, number one, she wouldn't have survived, you know, without shooting her way out. And number two, the bitch couldn't walk 12 miles. Okay? Oops. I mean, the wrong time to find that out, you know, is when you actually have to do it. So, you know, my message here is, you know, I'm not dogging on anybody for, you know, their preps or this, that, the other. What I'm saying is reality catches up. And unfortunately in our world, there's the way that stuff is supposed to work, and then there's the way that it actually works, you know. And it's fun, the whole, it's supposed to work this way. You will live and die on the way that it actually works. Whether it's your garden, whether it's your machine gun you've got under your bed or whatever, you know, you are going to live on the way that it actually works. It tickles me to death when I see people hiding behind a car door, which is supposedly deflecting high-velocity rifle rounds. And I'm going, yeah, okay. I don't know if you've ever seen what really happens when somebody tries to do that. I haven't. It's not a pretty picture. So, you know, that's the message. Reality catches up. Don't worry, YouTube. Indiana's holding.